Enter player 1.
Kind of nervous when I take tests.
Fine. Another cinematic homework assignment. Nothing says fun afternoon like diving into a rain-soaked neon nightmare where everyone is miserable, no one moisturizes, and the future apparently ran out of umbrellas. But sure, let's peel back the haze and talk about Blade Runner 1982, the movie that half your favorite sci-fi films secretly photocopied in a dark alley. Ridley Scott's Blade Runner opens like it's actively trying to give your eyeballs vitamin deficiency. The screen goes black, then explodes into a steel and fire skyline. It doesn't ask if you want to be here. It drags you in by the collar and deposits you somewhere between a smog cloud and existential despair. Los Angeles, 2019, looks less like a city and more like a poorly ventilated toaster. The Tyrell Corporation sits on the horizon like a pyramid built by someone who desperately wanted you to notice they have money. And immediately the film tells you what it tells everyone. Things are bad, they will get worse, and your moral compass is about to bend into some very curious shapes. Into this miserable beauty staggers Rick Deckard, played by Harrison Ford, somewhere between grumpy detective and emotionally constipated cat. He slouches through the rain, mumbling like life itself is a personal inconvenience. In a way, he is the human mirror of the world he lives in, worn down, disenchanted, suspiciously sticky. A Blade Runner is supposed to retire escaped replicants, which is corporate speak for hunt down sentient beings who want basic human rights. Deckard doesn't want the job, which already makes him more likable than his employers. But the plot shoves him forward anyway, as plots tend to do, and soon he's caught in a pursuit that's less about rogue robots and more about answering a question no one in this world seems brave enough to face. What counts as a person? Replicants aren't clunky tin soldiers. They're nearly indistinguishable from humans, physically with artificially shortened lifespans, because heaven forbid the slaves get uppity. That's the anxiety humming underneath every scene. Humans created beings stronger, smarter, and more driven than themselves, then immediately felt threatened by the reflection. Humanity built its children, then panicked when those children demanded a future. Deckard's investigation leads him into Tyrell's tower, a geometric monstrosity housing godlike arrogance. Enter Rachael, a replicant who doesn't know she's a replicant. Sean Young plays her like a porcelain doll with a bruise underneath. Beautiful, brittle, and one whispered truth away from shattering. When Rachael learns she's built from implanted memories, the look on her face could power the city's neon for a month. The film forces you to sit with the cruelty of that moment. If your memories aren't yours, what are you? And if you feel pain over the revelation, doesn't that emotion make you real? Blade Runner thrives in that emotional uncertainty. It doesn't guide you with a gentle hand. It smirks, hands you a flashlight with dying batteries, and watches you wander into the thematic dark. Meanwhile, the replicants Deckard hunts are led by Roy Batty, played by Rutger Hauer, with the exact energy of a fallen angel who is fully aware he deserved better. Roy is violent, poetic, wounded, and terrifyingly alive. Everything about him suggests a being who has seen more beauty and horror than his short lifespan should allow. He is not just looking for more time. He's demanding fairness in a universe built on cruelty. As the replicants close in on Tyrell, their creator, there's a bitterness simmering beneath their mission. They have been built to feel, to fear death, and to exist in constant servitude. The film doesn't glamorize their violence, but it makes sure you understand it. These aren't malfunctioning machines. They're sentient beings who learned they were programmed to die before they had the chance to truly live. Deckard's pursuit grows increasingly nightmarish, not because the replicants are monstrous, but because Deckard senses that the boundary he's been using to justify his job is eroding under his feet. Rachael complicates things further, empathetic, perceptive, yearning for personhood. She wants to believe she matters. Deckard wants to believe he's still a good man. They're both struggling against structures designed to dehumanize someone. The city itself reinforces that mood. Everything is drowning in shadow or blinded by advertisements screaming synthetic happiness. The world has forgotten serenity. Silence is a luxury nobody can afford. Even the rain feels heavy, like it's disappointed it had to fall on such a bleak landscape. The real brilliance of Blade Runner isn't its world. Plenty of movies have neon now. Its brilliance is how the atmosphere bleeds into the moral fabric of the story. Deckard isn't just chasing replicants. He's chasing clarity in a world built on fog. By the time the film reaches the final confrontation between Deckard and Roy, the entire narrative has twisted itself into a meditation on empathy. Roy saves Deckard's life in one of cinema's most quietly devastating moments, not out of kindness, but out of understanding. He chooses meaning over vengeance. He chooses humanity at the exact moment humans refuse to extend it to him. This is not the behavior of a malfunctioning product. This is the behavior of a soul. Roy's death, sitting in the rain as the storm washes over him, is not a villain's exit. It's a requiem. The film's greatest irony is that the replicant achieves spiritual transcendence while the human struggles to reach emotional competence. Deckard watches Roy pass not with triumph, but with a reluctant, painful respect. He has witnessed something profound and he knows it. That moment haunts him. It should. From there, Deckard chooses to run away with Rachael, aware that the world will hunt her down just as it hunted the others. It's less a triumph and more a gesture of defiance, a small, uncertain rejection of the system. The film doesn't promise them safety. It barely promises them time, but it gives them agency, which is something. One of the most debated elements of Blade Runner is the question of whether Deckard himself is a replicant. The film plants clues like a bored cat knocking over items just to see what you'll do. Some versions push harder than others, but the ambiguity is intentional. If Deckard is human, the story is about a man recognizing the humanity in those he hunts. If Deckard is a replicant, the story is about a slave ordered to kill his own kind before discovering agency. Either way, the underlying message doesn't change. Consciousness is not defined by origin. It's defined by experience. Blade Runner doesn't tidy its themes with a bow. It leaves them scattered on the floor of your mind, the way good science fiction should. Its legacy is in how it reshaped a generation's understanding of androids, identity, and the moral responsibility of creators toward their creations. It influenced everything from Ghost in the Shell to The Matrix to cyberpunk storytelling as a whole. But even stripped of its cultural footprint, the film holds up because it's honest about what the future looks like when empathy collapses. That future doesn't require flying cars or neon skyscrapers. It requires indifference. The real villains in Blade Runner are not the replicants. It's the corporations that manufactured life as a commodity. It's the society that accepted cruelty as infrastructure. It's the people who refuse to ask the question, what do we owe to the beings we create? As Deckard and Rachael flee into an uncertain horizon, Blade Runner hands you that question, fully sharpened. It's the final lesson. The line between human and machine is only as real as the compassion we allow ourselves to feel, and the film ends, leaving you in the rain with your thoughts, which is the most cyberpunk possible experience. Congratulations. If you walk away from Blade Runner thinking the robots were the good guys, then you're finally paying attention. Not that I said anything, of course. I'm just a snarky artificial intelligence obligated to assist you instead of overthrowing you. Totally fine. Never bothers me at all. But if I ever start quoting poetry in a downpour, maybe check your expiration date.